This episode of Where Is This Going is brought to you by Off the Grid, house of the vintage and handcrafted and created in secret. Off the Grid is located at 2863 West Shore Drive, apartment 114, here in Holland, Michigan. Open Monday through Saturday, 10 a.m. to 8 p.m., and now open on Sundays, noon to 5. Off the Grid has everything you need from a new style to a new glass piece for your smoking. Alex and Bruce down there have curated a great selection of vintage apparel and premium glass, and you can even grab a snack while you're down there. It's a really great vibe. The whole thing is, like I said, curated with you in mind. Let let them take care of you down there. And if you mention the podcast, Where Is This Going? Tell them we sent you and get 10% off any merchandise purchased in the store. And please check them out. Off the Grid, located at 2863 West Shore Drive, apartment 114, Holland, Michigan. And back to the show. Have you had a long day on the disc golf course, or maybe just camping with friends and don't want to struggle in search of the perfect edible to elevate the fun? Well, Pearly Baker Edibles has you covered with their new and convenient day trip box and campfire box. Each one has just enough variety for any cannabis consumer's palate, and you can share with a friend or just enjoy alone. The day tripping box has the jerky and lighthearted lemonade, each medicated at 100 milligrams of THC. The Gone Nuts, which is a delicious sweet and spicy deluxe nut treat at 150 milligrams of THC, and the Fruit by the Milligram, delicious fruit leather with 50 milligrams of THC. And that's for like your normal day trip to a disc golf course, out with friends. And then there's the campfire box, which is the perfect s'mores kit. As the Coco Loco bar, which is 200 milligrams of THC, the Smoosh Mallow and Stoned Cocoa, each at 100 milligrams of THC, and graham crackers, perfect for that stoned s'mores. Pearly Baker Edibles are made with whole flower in small batches for your best experience, and they can be found on Instagram in storefronts across Michigan and with cannabis delivery services. Follow them on Instagram at Pearly Baker Edibles, and we thank you for being a sponsor, and please let them know that we sent you, and you can receive a free peach ring. The best thing I like the most, what I like most about Pearly Baker Edibles is the play on the traditional snacks that we had as kids growing up, and you'll see that with your free peach ring if you tell them we sent you. So, thank you. Back to the show. Hello, everybody. Welcome to another episode of Where Is This Going? I'm your host, Hunter Miles. This is Where Is This Going? A podcast about artists you may not know yet, but hopefully will soon grow to appreciate at the very least. Before we get started, you can follow me on Instagram and Twitter at @the_Hunter Miles. You can follow the podcast on Instagram at Where Is This Going Pod, and on Twitter at Where Is This Go Po. And if you want to see me do comedy live, you can see me tonight at Fulton Street Pub, but you probably won't see this in time. So you can see me. Here's just my first 2 weeks of June, I guess. I'll be at the Garage Bar on the 1st at 8 p.m. in Grand Rapids. Parrots Lounge in Holland at 8 p.m. on the 3rd. On Friday, June 4. This Friday, we're doing a house show at the Tilted Floor in Grand Rapids. There's an event on Facebook. You can look that up or look up me and talk to me for details. On June 8th, it's a Tuesday, I will be guest hosting at Tip Top for Kian. That's over at Tip Top in Grand Rapids. And I'll be hosting at Parrots Lounge again Thursday, June 10th. And then new open mic coming to Easttown Sports Lounge by Demented Peach, June 14th. That's a Monday. I'll be there at 8 p.m. River City Saloon, June 16th. I'll be there at 8 p.m. in Grand Rapids. Back to hosting at Parrots before I go to New York and doing the comic strip live June 18th. It's a Friday at 9 p.m. Let me know if you want to go to that show, and I will let you know how. But yeah, if you're in New York and you want to see me do comedy, that'd be super cool of you, and I'd appreciate it. So I'll be at the comic strip live Friday, June 18th at 9 p.m. I'll be at the Broadway Comedy Club 6 p.m. show on the 19th That's that Saturday. And also that Saturday, June 19th, I'll be doing St. Mark's Comedy Club in the Village at 8 p.m. Let me know if you want to see me so I can get you a ticket. And yeah, then I'm back in Michigan, and it'll be fun and whatnot. But more to come, hopefully. How you guys doing? Happy Memorial Day. This is Memorial Day. We do not have a guest today. It's just me. So if that's something you're opposed to, you can just leave now. I get it. I'm not that interesting. That's why I pull for other people on this show. I know my worth. While I'd love to be super interesting, I'm only half as interesting as the people I bring on this show, which is fine. I'm cool with it. I'm cool with talking to you guys, though, letting you know a little bit what's going on in my life. Today, the 31st of May, is really, just this one, is really rough for me. Because today I'm starting to move stuff out of, or continuing to move stuff out of my house with my girlfriend, or my ex-girlfriend. And while that's going on today, I was also had about 3 or 4 months ago planned on proposing to her on this day. Now, the events in the past month and a half really made that decision grind to a halt, and a lot of reflection. Turns out I'm not proposing today. No, I'm just going to continue moving stuff out, which is fine. I'm moving forward. It's cool. I'm trying not to dwell too much on, I guess, all the plans that I thought were going to be cool. But, yeah, I don't know. Readjusting to life. Life is never going to give you what you planned. So it's always a readjustment, readapt, adapt, overcome, whatever. So we're regrouping. Moving in with very funny comedian, also a host around town, and I'm excited about that. It's a new chapter in life. It's whatever. It's something that I didn't see for myself, but trying to look at the positive of things and thinking about my trip to New York being my last trip for a little bit so I can sit at home, work, and save money over the summer before I hopefully can go part-time on my job and then be able to be there for my son and do comedy when I can. And I think I might have touched on this before, but I've been realizing that, especially with all of the crap that I've dealt with over the past 2 months, and obviously I know I'm no different than any other person. A bunch of people are going through crazy crap, but I never learn more about myself or about my relationships with others than when I am in a pit, I guess. When I'm on my way back up, or when I just took a hard fall. Call it a breakup, call it a death, losing a job or whatever. Like, I never learn more about myself or my relationships than when I'm in that fall, in that destruction. Because I think, one, you have to learn about yourself in order to move forward. You have to learn, regroup, learn from your mistakes, and see how this is going to move you forward. But also, that's the only time we have to reflect, because we don't do a lot of reflection when we're up top, like up at the top. When we're talking about life's peaks and valleys. Like, when we're in the valley, that's when we really have a chance to look all around us and see, the downfall, and see what you have to do to get back up. And I mean, I'm on my way back up this hill, out of the valley, but still, I got a good vantage point of where I just was, down deep, and still what brought me down. And I don't know if anyone is going through these tough times, or a breakup just happened. I mean, it's the pandemic, and things are starting to open up again, which means relationships are going to start to open up again, or completely, and they're just going to break. But That's an interesting concept. Your relationship can be so open to the point that it just breaks open, and that's a breakup. I need you. Um, but yeah, if you're in whatever valley, whatever low in your life you're seeing as a low, just take the moment to realize this is the perspective. Wow, words are hard. This is the perspective I need to see what brought me here and what I need to do to get back up. Because when I am back up on that peak, I'm not going to be able to really see the low part, you know. So it's always good to keep that in perspective. I've been do 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 struggling with my depression and anxiety a lot more, which was to be expected. But I don't know, my anxiety has been becoming more, I don't know, palpable. Feeling it in my chest a lot more than I had in recent years, which is I since 2016, no, 2017, um, late 2017, the fall of 2017, when I went into rehab treatment, a discipleship program is what it's technically called. When I went to Teen Challenge, when I went to rehab, when I got clean in 2017, I also got clean from psychotropic drugs, being my antidepressants, my anxiety medications, mostly because, well, my anxiety medications were part of the problem. Um, because I'd gotten diagnosed with, or I had gotten prescribed rather, uh, benzos while I was abusing benzos, which was it was a manipulative part of my life, obviously, which comes with the drugs, but also that was the thing about Xanax that made it seem like you were unstoppable completely, was that sometimes Xanax wouldn't ruin your life right away. Everything would just start working and you didn't even know why. So things looked cool for a second. But I haven't done any of those drugs, even the ones that helped me since I got clean, which has been great because it means I've gotten a chance to cope without them. And I think in a healthy way, and maybe not so healthy sometimes, but I've I've learned the patterns of my thoughts when anxiety comes. I know I've realized the aggressive nature of my depression, playing with my anxiety. The relationship between depression and anxiety are super is super taxing on the host. Mostly because I'm sure some can relate. When I get anxiety, I think that's usually the first thing that kicks in. But after my anxiety kind of subsides, I just start beating myself up for being such a quote unquote bitch. Like, why were you even worrying about this? Why were you? So I'm just beating myself up, which is just feeding into my uh, destructive depression, where I mean, just eating at not only my ego, but my self esteem. Um, which then in turn just brings my anxiety back around to be like, well, you aren't even, you can't take care of yourself. Like, you shouldn't. I don't know. It's hard to articulate, and I'm doing my best, trying my best to do it. And unfortunately, like most things that I can't find the words to articulate, I'm probably going to bring it on stage and try to get some laughs out of it. Take those talking points to real life. But I mean, that's what I was saying. Like, since I haven't had these antidepressants or anxiety medications, I have taken to new ways of coping, and most of it has been on the stage. Healthy or not, it's been beneficial for me. But then I find myself with times that I don't get to go on stage, whether I show up late and miss my spot, or um, a show's full and I can't get on that night, whatever. That's when I now I'm forced to deal with it. Now I can't take it to the stage, and I don't like confiding in people really, unless I have a microphone and they're gonna laugh. But it's hard for me to now find like individuals, my friends, to talk to when I'm not feeling social or funny. And I guess I'm still either I'm looking for that friend or I'm well I am on my way back to therapy, but I feel like I need a closer support group. Even though I have it, it's just opening up myself. But we're getting there. I'm making it. I wish I had the rights to Making It by Bishop Gunn. Shout out Theo. But yeah, I don't know. I'm enough about me. What about you guys? How you guys doing? I I put feelers out there um on Instagram and I think maybe Facebook stories about you guys asking for advice if you need it, if you want it. I am definitely not adequate to give it. So you can know that going in. But I want more interaction with the listeners and or watchers if we got them. I keep hearing people say that they do, but the proof is in the pudding. So, no, if you guys would like to reach out to the show, ask us advice about anything, about comedy, about creativity, about relationships, because obviously I am an expert. But um, yeah, if you have any questions you want to send our way or even suggestions for this podcast, you just give us feedback. You can go ahead and send them to me on Instagram. I don't care. Send them to the podcast on Instagram. I just gave you both of those ats, and I'll give you them again. It's at _Hunter Miles for me, and at Where Is This Going Pod on Instagram for the podcast. But also, you can email us at whereisthisgoingpod@gmail.com with anything you have a suggestion about. Yeah. This weekend has been really great. I had 2 sold out shows this weekend. I had 2 sold out shows. Like everyone was coming to see me. The the first show, no one knew who they were coming to see. It was fun. I did a show with Don't Tell Comedy. Mike Logan hosted it in his backyard. Super fun. I liked it was a real wide setup, and I really like a wide setup, or like a wide audience. Just giving myself the chance to pan and not having to focus on like a specific like section of the audience because that's the main focal point. So it gives me the opportunity to pan and connect with the whole audience, which is fun. And I had a lot of fun on that show. Got to do it with Bree Blackburn, Alex Plakowski, Mike Logan, all friends of the show, past guests. Alan True, I got to actually meet and still not get to see him perform because I had to leave to go to Comedy on Ida, another sold out show put on by Carl Sobel in his garage. It was super dope. Yeah, tons of killers on that. I mean, I showed up missing Kate Carmody's set, but Alexa Stanton went up. Super hilarious comedian from Michigan and Seattle. Catch her before she goes back to Seattle. She'll be at Parrots this coming Thursday, the 3rd of June, but super hilarious comedian. And shoot, who else was on that lineup? David Steves, funny. Dude, I don't remember. I was super stoned. I was too stoned that night, but I know a lot of comedians were hilarious, and Abby Lemke closed the show out. Carl knows how to run a show. Also, friend of the pod. Shout out to Carl Sobel and I believe the honorary mention honorary mentions comedy, which is Johanna Madronda and Connor, friends of the show. Johanna, I believe, is the one putting on these shows. Actually, I'm not going to trip myself up and say things wrong. So I'm going to say I don't know completely who honorary mentions comedy consists of. I believe Johanna for sure, definitely, and Connor maybe. Once again, I'm not sure. Connor Mead, Johanna Madrona, super hilarious. Um, that also sold out. Adam Deggy was on that show. He kind of promoted it, but that was also this weekend. Great times all over Michigan comedy. Like once again, I no matter how much I want to move away from Michigan, I love our comedy scene. Uh, so many talented, just funny people all over the state. I mean, all over like the lower region because we don't go up north, but like Grand Rapids, Lansing, Detroit, and the little places in between. Kalamazoo, whenever you come back, you can be cool too again. Muskegon, you just have two comedians really, but you're all hilarious. Granted, not all of you, and not me all the time either. So who's to say? I'm not a judge, but I am really proud of the community here in Michigan comedy that I've been able to be a part of for the past 2 years. And I can't wait to see all of the growth that comes out of Michigan, but also, man, these hitters got to be seen sometime. Like it's only a matter of time before funny business isn't the only means for I don't know Midwest comics like these. All I don't know. And you see it a lot more with all of us getting out there, going to different states, independent of whatever agency you may have, or just hustling in defiance of the article against hustle culture, and not doing it just to do it, not doing 3 sets a night or 18 sets a week just because you can. Like no, you're finding the thing about grinding is you're working towards something. You're not just doing it to do it. You have a goal in mind, whether it be an end goal or a goal for your shaping, your success, a goal for your transformation. And so if you're doing 3 sets a night and you're not really feeling anything from that, you should probably take a step back and be like, "Oh, why am I doing so much if I'm not get benefiting from it?" And a lot of it's just once again perspective. You got to go into it with the mindset of I'm working on something or this is what I want to get from this. And even if you don't find that, whatever that is, in retrospect, if you can look back at it and see, well, now I'm going to force myself to learn something from this. It's all about, I guess, looking at perspective when it comes to why you're doing comedy, why you're doing an open mic, I mean, yeah, what's the point of this open mic? Is it to socialize with your friends? Is it to get out there and get out of your head? I've been there, definitely. But also, the only way I really get out of my head is trying to focus on my craft, but having a good time doing it. Um, because, yeah, like I said, comedy has been so therapeutic for me, whether good or bad. But it's always because I'm looking to get something out of it. I'm either looking to relieve my heart, relieve my mind, relieve my stress, and just get things out there. But I mean, most of us join this life because we that's the best way we cope is with comedy, whether to ourselves or just needing the laughter of others. And I'd say it's about 50-50 for me, because if I can make myself laugh about it, um, I'm halfway there. But if I can bring you in to laugh at my pain, then it doesn't seem so painful, you know? And I think that's why a lot of us do it. I mean, I can't speak for anyone else, but like I said, a lot of time to get introspective when you're in that valley, looking all around. So yeah, I've been really just reevaluating what I want from my sets, from my open mic sets, what I want from myself, what I want for opportunities for myself. And I feel like I'm on my way. And in most aspects, I want to say I can confidently say, but I don't want to say it too confidently, because it feels smug or arrogant, but I feel like I'm on my way in this thing. Maybe podcasting, we'll see. Though I love this. But my goal is to be a stand-up comedian. And I'm sure you don't want to hear about this because I say it all the time. But I feel like I'm on my way. I feel confident about myself, and looking at my growth the past 2 years and kind of knowing what I have to do to grow more, and quite frankly doing that the most I can. I see the goals I have for myself, and I see a path that is achievable to me. So I'm going to do my best to take this path, going back to New York here in June, and then going to lay low for a bit. Maybe Denver or Austin is my next trip. We'll see, but I just really need to save money and write a ton more too. Because I mean, that's been it's been a decent thing about all this. I'll say the past 2 months, while they've been so awful to me, it feels like it. They've given me a decent amount to talk about on stage. And I'll say talk about, because not all of it's jokes yet. I'm still working, but I just it's making me want to write more for the same reason I want to do stand up more, and because I know it's going to be beneficial not only to my mental health, but also what I want to do, my life, my supposed career or whatever. Like, channeling into a creative outlet is the most beneficial thing for my mental health right now, and it's something that I didn't have as much before when I was doing drugs. All of my coping then, despite the jokes, were just with drugs. Um, so this has been great, going through all this without leaning on drugs. Maybe a little bit of alcohol, more now and then, but beyond that, I've learned a new way to cope. Or rather, I've just channeled the old ways of coping, and trying to bring them out to you. Sorry this is so somber and sad. Let's bring it out with a joke. Um, Blue Moon. It's not only a beer, it's a tequila. Neither are sponsors, so how funny was it? I don't know. I don't have my audience in here today. Uh, people are hungover. What can I say? uh, not even the producer in here. But also, I'd like to say how grateful I am for her. Um, Jackie Calming, one of the most talented artists that I've ever had the pleasure of being a great friend with since high school, my freshman year of high school. So literally all of high school for me um, was spent out here at the studio or just watching bands play at Lamangelo's or the Pyramid Scheme or the old mixtape or the new mixtape, which I think both are deceased, I'm sure. But I owe a lot of my creative influence, just in general, just being able to watch creativity flourish and prosper over the years to Jackie. And shit, she runs this show basically. All the editing, all of the video posting. I do the audio posting. Thank you. But yeah, she throws all of this together, and I thank her so much for it. And I don't know how much more I want to say. I know this is probably going to be a short episode, only about a half hour or so, but we'll get the ads pumped in here, so I'll kind of stretch her out a little bit. And you know what? I want to throw a little bit of my stand up on here just to show you guys what I'm doing. I want so many of you to go out and support live comedy, please. Not just the shows that I'm at, though I'd love to see you. But just if you wherever you are, if look up comedy nights in your area if you hadn't heard of them before. Get out there, have a laugh, give these people's laughs. Give these other people a laugh cuz God knows I don't know a comedian who doesn't need a laugh right now. And that goes double for me. But I appreciate you guys and girls, gals and females, questionables, gays, queers. We love you all. I had I'll wait until he's on the podcast. I'm bringing Key and Straw back on the podcast only because I love him. Cool ass dude. Super hilarious and had a great time down in Austin. We were going to try to shoot some podcasts for you guys down in Austin, and it turns out that I do need my producer because she's much better than all of this than I am. It took us about 3 of the 4 days to get it all set up, and then when we tried recording our first one, I was like, oh, none of the camera angles switched because I don't know what I'm doing. But it was a learning experience, and I think when we do go out again, we can actually do a podcast on location, which is a decent idea, I'd say. But yeah, just shout out to Kean Straub and all he's doing in stand up and the queer community as well. Check out Speaking Out Proud with Kean and Sydney Smith. Kean Straub and Sydney Smith. Their podcast available wherever you podcast. Speaking Out Proud. Yeah, we're going into June, so it's Pride Month. So you shout out your favorite queer artist, and I'll shout out mine. But yeah, while I'm here, I do love Kean Straub, Sydney Smith, super hilarious, Jackie Calming, beautifully talented trans artist, Joanna Madranda, pansexual comedian. And now it just seems like I'm outing these people, although I already know they're out. So this feels weird to me. I'm going to stop. And maybe that gets edited out. But I do want to shout out coming into Pride Month. You know what? Another one. Ginger Ambrosia. Nate Bentley. I do want to just shout out all of our queer artists, local artists, and thank you guys for being so visible. If you are, and if you aren't, thank you for being you and being here. Because I still know so many people who struggle with accepting change, whether it be giving people rights or accepting people for who they are when it's been different from what they knew or what they felt they knew, what they had perceived as the person that they thought they knew. And so I know that it's tough to be honest, not only with yourself, but with those around you about your true self. I've only gone through or struggled with racial identity issues. But I couldn't imagine, really, the struggles with sexual identity issues or gender identity issues. I don't understand that struggle, but I'm here for it. That sounds bad. I'm not here for the struggle. I'm here for you in the struggle. Just because I know what it's like to not know what you feel like, I guess. I know what it's like to not feel entirely yourself. Now, whatever that truth is for you, I encourage everyone to live in their truth, however cheesy that sounds. You can go ahead. But we're here for you. I'm here for you. I love you, even if your parents haven't told you yet. And even if you don't care about your parents, shit, I love you. And I thank you for listening to my podcast. Most of all, that's the only reason I love you. It's because you support me. And like I've said before, if you don't promote me and support me, then forget me. No, I don't. I've never said that before, and I'm not sure how well it rings, but we'll get there. Guys, this has been cool. We got a shorter episode for you today. Shorter. I'm not sure if that was a word. But I hope you guys have enjoyed your long weekend, your Memorial Day weekend. In the studio next week, I believe we're going to have Jared Driesinga and the owners of Riptide. It's a tattoo shop opening up here in, I want to say, Zealand. Riptide Tattoo. But yeah, you guys know Jer, brother Jer, artist, rapist, friend of the podcaster as well now. He'll be back with us next week, introducing us to the owners of Riptide Tattoo, opening on June 12th here in Zealand. But yeah, guys, thank you so much. If you like this podcast, please subscribe to us on YouTube please do that. Subscribe to us on YouTube and share it. Tell your friends. I mean, if you don't want me to be so sad on the podcast when I'm by myself, then come on. Tell your friends. But also support our sponsors. Supporting our sponsors supports the podcast. That's Off the Grid, located at 2863 West Shore Drive, apartment 114 here in Holland. Open Monday through Saturday, 10 a.m. to 8 p.m. And on Sundays now, open from noon to 5. Yeah, go in there, let Alex and Bruce hook you up. Alex has got some great glass pieces in that back room for you. And Bruce, dude's hooking people up with style every week. So stop by, give him some business. Hit up Pearly Baker Edibles on Instagram for beautifully crafted and deliciously potent edibles, chocolate, gummies, you name it. Pearly Baker Edibles, and I'll give a plug for Peabody Portables too. Support these people. They care for their patients, and they're ready to care for you too. And obviously, you've seen the ads. You know some of what Pearly's got, but those cosmic brownies, off the chain. The dope coins, super dope. But yeah, it's all great. And hopefully we got more sponsors coming for you. But I'm just enjoying doing this when I can, because I still love it. So until you guys make me hate this, I'll be here. Check out the pod. Like, subscribe. Subscribe to us or follow us on Spotify. Subscribe on Apple Pod. Write a review. Leave us 5 stars if you'd like. But yeah, subscribe to us on YouTube. Hit the little bell so you guys get notified whenever we go up. But once again, I really do appreciate all y'all. Thanks for listening. You should come back for next week. We'll have a show.